Hey, hi everybody. Good morning to all of you from Palm Desert, California. It is Tuesday, December the 20th. Yes, I said December 20. If you haven't got your shopping done, good news, it's a weekday today and tomorrow and Thursday. So you can still get shopping done. Retailers are more than willing to help you out, get you set up, um, for those of you who need to be looked after. But hey, it's 4 days away. We're 4 days away from Christmas. A week from now, we'll have had it done and we'll be getting ready for New Year's. By the way, next week, Monday, I won't be on the air because it is a holiday for the stock exchanges. And a week after that, it's another holiday day. New Year's Day, kind of thing. So I won't be on the air that day either. So I have 2 4-day weeks coming up. So do you folks. Those of you who are writing stock options that expire in January or beyond, there's only 4 trading days next week and the week after that. So depreciation continues to accelerate. And those of you writing contracts are going to love it. Way to go. We're negative on the markets right now. Not a lot, but we've definitely turned to the red in the last 20, 30 minutes. Now, we were plugging along on the pre-markets. Um, Overnight in Asia, everything was just rosy posy. Things were getting ready to look real good in Europe. And then all of a sudden, the Bank of Japan decided to get in on the action. The Bank of Japan has announced, and has made a policy change in that they have jacked up their interest rates in Japan for the first time since the Americans did it a year ago or 9 months ago, and the Europeans did it, and the UK folks did it, and other countries raised rates. The Bank of Japan has been holding back. They've been trying to do nothing. They've been figuring their whole plan is nothing. That's their whole plan, nothing. Their thinking was, hey, we'll let the Japanese yen sink against the American dollar, making our exports to the United States cheaper. We'll allow our currency to drop against the Swiss franc, against the euro, against the British pound. We'll allow all the other major currencies of the world to gain value on our yen by not making any moves on our interest rates, and therefore we're protecting our economy from layoffs and slowdowns, recession fears. The only downside of that strategy, of course, is that anything we import, like oil and gas, like raw materials, uh, anything from Canada, like wheat, any food items we bring in, any steel and iron ore and whatever, we will have to pay more for that because our Japanese yen is not as valuable. We've got to pay more yen to get this stuff. But then we can turn around and manufacture this stuff and then sell our goods. We can raise our prices a little bit because the yen has fallen off. So we can raise our prices overseas, but not all that much higher to the end buyer. So if an American buys a Lexus in California or Philadelphia or Pennsylvania or New York or wherever, they buy a Lexus made in Japan. The Lexus won't have a price increase on it because the yen has dropped against the American dollar, and this will compensate for higher shipping costs and all kinds of costs. So for Americans and for Germans and for Brits and anyone else who wants to buy a Japanese-made item like this, the cost won't go up. It'll be just as competitive, which means that if a Ford or a General Motors or a Cadillac or if a Mercedes Beamers go up in price in the USA and people price compare to the Lexus dealership, they'll notice at the Lexus dealership, the price is lower for what you're getting compared to what's happening elsewhere. And that was the strategy. And it worked for a while, but it's to the point now where even the Bank of Japan has to throw in the towel because The American Federal Reserve, the Mr. Powell, Chairman Powell, and the gang at the governors there, they've raised the Fed funds rate in the United States by 4 percentage points this year, 2022. 4%. That's too much for the Bank of Japan to ignore and not react to. But it's only a quarter point increase. It's not like they went up 1 percentage point today. They only went up a quarter of a point. However, the analysts out there who are paid to study this stuff, they're freaking out. They're absolutely their phones are on fire. They're texting like crazy between each other. Emails are flying everywhere between central banks and bank offices everywhere. The Japanese are in on the deal. They're now in on this increased interest rate program to quell inflation. And this, in the past, in the 30, 40 years historically, whenever the Bank of Japan were to raise their interest rates, that signaled that wherever you are, you're already in a recession, whether you know it or not, or you're about to enter a recession, and whether you believe it or not. And the Japanese are now basically, the thinking is that the Japanese have studied everybody else's situation. Economic activity, advance orders, unemployment, inflation, interest rates, corporate debt needs, on and on and on it goes. Never ends. And the Japanese have concluded that they have to raise rates to protect their yen. They can't have their yen go any lower. And that it's likely the rest of the world is entering a recession. And now Japan has to tighten its belt as well. We'll find out. A lot of folks out there have already said the United States has been in a recession for 6 months already. It doesn't even know it. It could be the lightest recession of all time, or it's kind of like a swimming pool that has a shallow end and a deep end. And people have been in the shallow end of the pool all day long, and no one has ventured more than 10 feet out into the water. We're all hanging around the shore, and we're all in 1.5 feet of water, and we're all frolicking and having a wonderful time. The folks at the Bank of Japan are saying these folks, another 200 people are coming to the pool later today. They're going to have to get in ahead of those guys. Those guys, they can't be shore huggers. If they want to come into the pool and cool off, they're going to have to get into deeper water. And sooner or later, the recession shows where people are drowning and or are treading water to try not to drown. So this is what the analysts are talking about, and this is a commonly, let's say, accepted analogy that if the Bank of Japan raises rates, you can be rest assured that Powell is right, that we're going with higher rates for longer. Now, experts have been saying this morning on some of these shows that not only will rates go higher than previously thought, now that the Bank of Japan is joining the party, the thinking is the Fed will go even higher on their rates. They won't stop at 4.5 to 5%. They may well go to 5.5 or more on the rates. First of all, that means a higher rate before they stop raising rates. And number two, that has been said again and again and again, but people don't want to believe it, there will be no rate cuts in 2023. Not even close. They won't even have topped out. They'll barely topped out on the rate rise by the end of 2023. So another year of 0.5 point raises, 1/4 point raises every month, so into February, into March, April, so on and so on. We could well be at 5.5, 5.75, 6% Fed funds rate a year from now, which means a mortgage is unlikely to be less than 7.5, 8% for most people. Unlikely to be under 8. And that, of course, is the test for real estate. Can the real estate market handle people? In other words, can people handle mortgages at 8.5% versus 2.5 to 3.5%? That is the question. And there will be adjustments. There will be those who can't and will have to sell. Those who can't and will be sold out. Those who can but will sell anyway. And those who can who will pay. There's it's just the way of the land. As far as other loans go, they're going to be more expensive. So the car companies are desperately trying to get you to buy their Jeeps, their SUVs, their pickups, trucks. They're trying to get you to buy anything they make. And you see the ads on the football game. You see the ads on your favorite shows. Banner ads everywhere you click, where there are deals from your car dealers for vehicles. All of a sudden, there are deals again. There were no deals last year on cars. You paid more than sticker price. All of a sudden, there are deals because the factories are cranking out product and the buyers aren't there to buy it. And so the factories have got to find buyers. Well, find a way to get the buyers to come to the dealerships. And your local dealer is pushing product like crazy. And it might be an introductory cheap interest rate, might be 2.99, 2.99% financing, where the car company will say, I'll give you 2.99% financing, but it's on the full price of the car. There's no discount on the car. So if you want a $45,000 vehicle, you're not going to get $5,000 off and 2.99. No, you're going to get either $5,000 off, or you're going to pay 2.99 on the full price. Your choice. And that means payment buyers are what the car companies are now after. Payment buyers. And this is what we've had. We've had payment buyers in the car business for 30 years, especially when interest rates were higher than they've been lately. It's quite obvious. Back in the 80s and 90s, people went to the car dealership not to see what the sticker price for the car was. What they wanted to know was, how much a month do I have to pay to drive this thing around town? That's what the cost is to me. And at the end of 3 or 5 or 7 years, what do I owe on this thing? And what can I get for it? What will its value be in 6 years, 5 years? Can I just roll over into another car with another payment? In other words, I'm happy to rent a car from you guys. I'll rent the car from you in this disguise. We'll call it a lease, but it isn't. It's just a rental agreement. There is no equity in this vehicle. There will never be equity in this vehicle. The only way there'll be equity is if I run it for 10 years. I pay you out after 5 or 6 or 7, and I keep it for 3 more. And then I sell it for 5 or 6 or 7,000 bucks. And in some cases, like Jeep, Cherokees, well-maintained, really well looked after Jeeps and other vehicles, you would keep a higher pre-resale value. With passenger vehicles made by Chrysler or Buick or Pontiac or whatever, all the brands that aren't here anymore, you would get your clock cleaned on the value of the vehicle after 5, 6, and 7 years. There would be people out there with 7-year-old vehicles. They've made payments for 7 years. They buy the car for 4,000 or 5,000 bucks, and that's all it's worth. There is zero upside equity left at the end of it all. But then again, they got to drive a new car for so much a month. And the first 4 years of ownership, fully warranted car, didn't have to worry about the engine breaking down, and it's all covered under warranty. So that was that peace of mind going, all right, I'll pay you $450 a month to drive this car. And, every 3 to 5 years, I'll flip it. And if the dealer was willing to take my old car and flip me into a new one for a payment of $450 a month, I'm there. Payment buyers. And that's what we're coming into now, because cash at the household level is dwindling. People are not being paid to stay home and not work anymore. People are finding it more difficult to get unemployment insurance if they choose not to work or get laid off, what have you. It's getting tougher to get it. And so we are becoming not cash buyers, we're becoming payment buyers. That's what's going on. Welcome one, welcome all. We're down 10 points on the Dow. We're down 6 on S&P. We're down 46 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ down 46 points. NASDAQ is down 0.4 of a percentage point, not even a half a point. It's not a bad morning, nothing terrible going on. But have you noticed in the last week now how we will lose ground on the market every day now? This is day 4 or 5 in a row. This is coming into the 3rd week in a row of losses. We're not getting a bounce back. Have you noticed that we're not getting a big time 500-point first thing in the morning dead cat rally? There are no dead cat rallies to really talk about. There have been a few that have attempted to come in, but nothing serious. And we've seemed to have We seem to have been opening kind of weaker, going into a market wishy-washy, and we'll see how this goes. There can be at any time, any time we could have an update for no reason whatsoever. We can have an update because if we are in theory or technically oversold on certain stocks, sure, we could have an update. But I'm not too optimistic about a seriously happy, gigantic, massive update. I don't see any economic data coming out to spur investors to run to their brokerage accounts and buy a bunch of paper today or tomorrow or next week. We're finishing off the last of tax loss selling. It's the 20th of December. We're coming to the end of this. And stocks will, I think, remain muted. I think that's the story, is that stocks will just remain muted. Tesla's 148.54 this morning. I don't know if you've seen that. It's about $1.30 lower right now. We've got other favorites of ours. Let's take a look right now at the pre-markets. We've now got 42 minutes until we open. We got Rocket Lab down a penny. We have SoFi at 451, up about 8 cents. GameStop up 2. Over on Matterport, we're plus a penny, negative 2 cents on 23andMe. Spire up maybe 3 pennies, 111. ATIP, no change yet. Smart Rent up 4 cents. Sextera up 4. Over on Apple, we were down 214 yesterday. We're down 50 cents now. Goldman was down 174 yesterday. We're up 124 this morning. Cisco down 41 cents yesterday, down 8 cents now. We're down 36 cents on Tesla yesterday. After it was all said and done, we lost 36 cents at 149.87. We're at 148.44, down 147 today on Tesla. ARC Innovations down a dollar yesterday, $1.04. We're down a nickel now. Microsoft was off 420 yesterday, now down 120 this morning, down to 239 a share. Bed Bath Beyond at 277 a share, down a penny from yesterday. Pfizer lost 4 cents yesterday. It's down 14 cents now to 51.23. HBQ lost 16 cents yesterday, 26.56. It's now 26.68, up 12. So it's hanging in there. Carvana 439, down 2 cents. Alphabet, the Google shares, were down 170 yesterday. We're up 194 now. And the Amazon shares were down 294 yesterday. We're up 26 cents at the moment. That's where we're at. Okay, kind of what we're watching here. Let's see what the market brings us. So much fun. As I say, the markets are mixed now. We have a 28-point gain on the Dow, but a 3-point drop on S&P and a 37-point drop on NASDAQ. 91-cent gain for oil at 76.10. A lot of speculation now with winter settling in. The Russians were certain, they were sure of this. They figured that if they could launch a ton of drones into Ukraine, go after their power systems and stations and relay stations, and take Ukraine offline, and then with winter coming in, oil would surge in price because there would be this massive shortage of oil because of the restrictions that countries were putting on Russian oil. The Russians were thinking all along, they're not going to put restrictions on our oil. Oh, no. They're because they can't. The Western world is addicted to our oil. We Russians produce 10 million barrels a day of oil. We can export 8 million of them. And there's no way they can live without it. And all of a sudden, surprise, 6-8 months into this thing, Western countries are not buying Russian oil all that much. The only countries buying Russian oil are allies of Russia, which there aren't that many. There's China. India, to a degree, has been buying. Turkey, to a degree. And Saudi Arabia has been buying Russian oil. But it's been at sort of unofficial deals off the table behind the building. We cut the deal back there. We don't let anyone see these transactions. But Russia is not getting $125, $130 a barrel for oil that they thought they would get right now. They thought with a cold winter in Europe, it would be a done deal, a no-brainer for Russians to get 125, 130 bucks a barrel for oil. And we're sitting at 76 in West Texas right now. 76 bucks. And the United States government releasing oil from a strategic reserve to the domestic US market, bringing gasoline prices down into the 3s and 2s again in America. That incredibly smart Mr. Biden there pulled that one off. You put a bunch of oil on the market, price goes down. I mean, that's funny how that works. It's really an amazing system. If you flood the world with oil, the price of oil goes down. The thing now that's happening, unfortunately for Russia, is that this winter, China has finally decided to join the party, and they've decided to get away from the zero COVID policy, where they have one person that gets infected in a city of 20 million, all 20 million people are shut in. Now all of a sudden, they've left it wide open to do what you want, go where you want, and the Chinese economy is getting racked now by people getting ill. But I kind of wonder, is it also possible what's happening in China is that now that everyone knows that if you test positive, you're going to be, it's not going to matter anymore as far as a shutdown goes. Can you imagine maybe what's going on is a lot of Chinese are being found out to be positive all of a sudden when they've probably been positive all along and they've been hiding in their homes and not coming out? Is it any wonder, maybe people are wondering, why isn't grandma so-and-so coming out to go grocery shopping every day? It's her daughter's coming out. Her granddaughter comes out and does shopping, but grandma isn't coming out. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks. What's with that? Oh, she's tired. She's resting. Yeah. So she's positive. She doesn't dare come out because she knows if she comes outside and gets tested, the whole apartment building is locked down. And you got to wonder how many people hid away in these apartment blocks and condo blocks all over China for the last 6-8 months, a year. All of a sudden now it doesn't matter. They're coming out anyway and they're going shopping, and it's being discovered that COVID is everywhere. It's just all over the place. But have you also been impressed with how China doesn't have any deaths to report? The hospitals are filling up, but no one's dying over there. Isn't that amazing? It's really a feat of modern medicine that millions of Chinese are getting infected with COVID, and yet no one is dying because the government is saying we don't have any casualties from this at all, because we're a superior race, I guess. We're the chosen ones. And, communism all the way, baby. That must be what it is. Or is it maybe they've decided to change how they report the cases of COVID deaths? Like if you're in a car and you drove to a hospital and you died, could the car have been in an accident before you got to the hospital and you actually died in a car accident? Could that be? There's a scratch on the bumper. You hit something and the person bumped their head and they died of that. They lived bravely for several days in the hospital, but they died after a few days. And really, it's too bad. It's not COVID. No. That respirator, we were trying to keep people alive from the cut on the corner of their noggin. I don't know. I'm just messing around. I don't know. I'm an old guy who's sick today. What do I know? Anyway, we'll see what happens with this market. Love the Chinese Communist Party. Just love these guys. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for those of you throwing a few thumbs ups our way already today. Appreciate that very much. We desperately try to reach 200 thumbs ups on these morning shows. And thank you for hitting that thumbs up button already. We got 96 thumbs ups already here. That is incredible. Just about half of the way home already. So thank you all for helping out today and spreading the vibes. I love it. So what can I say? We got the Bank of Japan involved. The bond market is freaking out. Most of you don't care. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that this is a big deal, but let's just see what happens. We'll kind of take it from there. Mixed bag on the market. I have to admit, we're down on Apple, we're up on Goldman, down on Tesla, up on Cisco, down on Microsoft, higher on HBQ. What's this market doing? It doesn't seem to have there doesn't seem to be a plan, not a coordinated plan at all. So I'm not quite sure where to make, what to make of this. Look at how popular I am today with the trolls. I'm really popular with trolls today. I'm really obviously this channel is exploding because you can tell by all the trolls that are coming in. They just love it. What can I say? Yeah, I don't know. Just it's goofy out there. It's a goofy world. I try to block these guys. Sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I can't. You've probably noticed that. These trolls try all kinds of tricks in the book here to mess with us. They change the name of their channel slightly, and then they come back at us again. Anyway, there you go. Okay. Oh well. Thank you all for joining in. Those of you who are here, thank you for being members of this channel. Love you guys for that. We're going to go member only now. We'll see if we can somehow put a calming effect on the commentary here. This is why we have a private channel for comments. I love to have comments open to everyone if it's possible, but unfortunately, you get the abusers who just come in here and run havoc over the chat, and then you can't conduct a reasonable show. It quickly becomes un-PG rated. Anyway, so there you go. We're now at member only comment area. Thank you, those of you who are lurkers. I love you, and please become a member of this channel and join us on the discussion. We'd love to have you become part of the show and go from there. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it. All right. What else is going on? Yeah, without trolls, you would not know, says Ricardo. I'm still lurking and liking it, Bruce. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate it, buddy. What do they get out of it? Like, what is the point? I am hearing you there, Alberto. Uncle, there's a few good lurkers. Not all are nitwicks. I agree. There are some really great lurkers here. There really are. They're here all the time. They follow us a lot. I get emails from some of them, and I appreciate their situation. But I have to admit, at the end of the day, the only way this channel stays on the air is if people make money from option writing. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you're following me because of option writing and you're making money, you're going to keep following me. It's as simple as that. You lose money all the time, you're not going to be here. Those who do make money and those who are, who believe in writing options, they become members of this channel. And it is the membership revenue that comes in through YouTube to me that keeps this channel viable. It's the only reason that YouTube doesn't shut this channel down. If this channel didn't have membership revenues, YouTube would have little incentive for this channel to exist, because the ad revenue that YouTube generates through this channel is so minuscule that it isn't worth its time. But because of memberships, this channel actually more than pays its weight to be here, and so that's how we keep on going. And so this is why I keep profusely thanking everybody that renews their membership, that joins this channel as a member, because you are helping to keep this channel alive and on the air. Of course, those of you who watch my classes, thank you. Those of you who are going to be in the 6-on-1 show today, tomorrow, and Thursday, way to go. Looking forward to that. And then those of you who have one-on-ones with me, that adds as well. But it is the memberships that keeps this channel on the air. Mirko is number 108. Nick Dumouriez is number 9 on the thumbs up meter. So we're over halfway there now for 200. Splair, I was only listening to Uncle Bruce. Wouldn't he mention, if he didn't mention the trolls, I wouldn't see it. JR, getting those eyeballs on girls who write, everybody's dream. A miraculous example with what's less controversial. My grandfather fought cancer for 2 years after chemo, got pneumonia, so he died from pneumonia, not cancer. There you go. Isn't that something? What can I say? It is what it is. Yeah, I knew of a guy who wouldn't get the vaccine. I heard about a particular guy who wouldn't get the vaccine. It's about a year. Well, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when the vaccines first came out, and he was told by his doctor and his by medical people, you are a prime candidate to come down with this thing. You've got all kinds of underlying health issues. You're working your butt off. You've got like 100 employees. You have 10 different projects on the go. Your immune system is weak. You need to get the vaccine and protect yourself. And he basically didn't believe in it, thought it was a conspiracy. Started like months later, one day wasn't feeling so well, had a bad cough, couldn't breathe very well, called it a cold. Took a day or two off at home. Then they transferred him to hospital because he couldn't breathe either. He couldn't even breathe sitting in his couch. Took him to the hospital, put him on a ventilator, and 3 days later he was gone. He was so bad off that he didn't last more than 3 days. He considers his death to be a cold. His closest friends, who are also conspiracy theorists, he just died of a cold, because that's how colds take people out. For centuries, colds have made people sniffle and have achy bodies, and then they kill people. That's how colds were. COVID, that's pure fiction. That's made up stuff. Well, the cold got this guy. There was a vaccine for his cold, but he chose not to use it. And now there are 4 children, a wife, hundreds of employees who are all standing around going, what do we do now? His businesses got wound up. Everything got blown away. Nothing was left. And many, many lives had been, badly affected because this guy wouldn't get a needle. Just get that. Hey, what can I say? It is what it is. Continuing, we continue on, don't we? Yeah. You have to believe, I guess, and that's just the way it is. Anyway, welcome to this show. Welcome to the show where we do believe in making money. We believe in making money in a bear market, and we enjoy and appreciate the fact that we can make a nice little living here writing call options on stocks we are going to hold anyway, no matter what they do. And if Tesla wants to sit at 147.05, where it is right now in the pre-market, we say, okay, stay at 147.05. If you must stay there for now, if you want to trade at this level, then we will say, okay, we'll deal with our contracts in whatever way we can to make a living. We'll try to get by here and try to find a way forward to get by in these hard economic times. These stocks want to be down here. Okay, these stocks want to be down here. Not much we can do if that's where they want to be. Of course, the lower stocks go, that does give us more and more options and choices, which we can take advantage of. Some of the choices are where we can decide to do rollovers, where we perhaps will buy back the call we've written and write a new call closer into the money, a little closer in on time, and reduce the amount of time that our contract has to live by bringing in just as much cash or more. That might be a very smart move for some of us to take advantage of this depreciating market. We can do that several times over. Last week and the week before last week, I was getting comment after comment from people saying, listen, Bruce, I wrote GameStop 30s these $30 contracts, I think 4 weeks ago. And I got a really good dollar for these things. I got some really good money. They're trading right now at less than half what I sold them for. What do you recommend I can do? And in many cases, my number of my viewers would have bought those back and turned around and written $28 contracts or $26 contracts as the stock was going to 24, 23, 22. And they brought in even more money than the contract they bought back. They'd buy back a call for $2, sell one for $3. And then a week later, they'd say, Bruce, what do I do now? These calls that I wrote for $3, they're trading at $1.20. I'm up again, like really nicely on these. The stock's sitting at $21. What do you recommend? Well, now people were writing $21, $22 contracts, maybe the same time frame, depending on how close or how far out they were in time. But there were viewers here who had contracts that had 6-8 months to go, a year to go in time that they had rolled up to. And then the stock faded and they started rolling back. And on the way up, when the shares were going higher, they were rolling into higher price strikes further out in time, bringing in more money. Then the stock began to drop. They began to buy back those calls for way less money and start writing calls for more money that were closer to the strike price and closer in on time. And so it was the reverse. And we do this all the time. We constantly adjust our portfolios, our stock, our long or short call positions, depending on what the stock wants to tell us to do. We let the stock tell us what to do. We don't have to guess. And depreciation, time depreciation is our ultimate secret weapon that just pays us and pays us and pays us day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out. And people here are building cash reserves, growing their account size, using cash from profits on option trades to buy more, either more shares to write more options on, or those who have now discovered the benefits and the upside of buying deep in the money calls. They're buying those to write calls against those calls. Poor man covered call option writing. There are classes available for everything I'm talking about here. If you're listening to me now going, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't understand this. I know about options, Bruce. I've heard about options, but I don't understand about writing them. I don't understand about poor man covered calls. I don't understand about premiums and stuff. This is all foreign language to me. You keep talking about doing everything in plain English. Help me out here. I have helped you out. What you need to do is you need to head over to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Head over there and grab yourself, go and check out that website, and you'll find a heading called classes. You got to take my classes now. If you really want to understand how option writing works and make it work for you, head over there and start checking out 14 classes on how to become an option writer. And they're about an hour and a half, 2 hours long each. Very light, very easy to understand, with a live audience. So with Jennifer as my moderator, you'll recognize the players, you'll recognize the questions, you'll go, oh, that's what they're talking about. Oh, I see what they mean. And you'll understand stink bids, stink offers, the 90-10 rule. You'll understand the psychology of the markets. You'll understand why options depreciate as they get closer to expiry. You'll understand who writes options and why. You'll understand who buys options and why. You'll understand a lot of what you need to understand in the options market, because it is a completely different market than the stock market. It's completely different than the bond market, completely different than the futures grains market. This is another vehicle, another animal entirely. However, the options market every Friday has options expiring that were written months and months ago that come up every Friday. Another series of options leaves us. Trillions of dollars evaporate every Friday in the options pit. And the question is, did you get some of those dollars coming into your account? And that's what's happening here with the viewers of this channel. Many of them have figured out a way to attract dollars into their accounts from option writers. And you get to keep a lot of change. And boy, does it make a difference in your life. In any event, thank you, all of you, for being here so far. 19 minutes to go before we start trading. And I look forward to get this going. Wing Commander, when is those 6-on-1? 1 o'clock Eastern time. Those of you who have signed up for the 6-on-1 session today, this is where I'm live on camera, and I have 6 of my viewers live on camera with me simultaneously for 1 hour today during market hours. The first 6-on-1 will be held today for the very first time, 1 o'clock Eastern until 2 o'clock Eastern. We'll have the second one tomorrow and the third one on Thursday. Today's show is a sellout. 6 viewers have long ago taken those slots. They're gone. For tomorrow, I have 3 slots left available. If you'd like to join me tomorrow between 1 and 2 o'clock Eastern time for the 6-on-1, you need to make a donation to our PayPal account, which the link is down below. It's a $150 donation, US dollar donation. You will then send me an email and say, Uncle Bruce, I just sent you $150. I want in on Wednesday's show, or I want in on Thursday's show. I've only got 3 available today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Let me know which one you want, tomorrow's or Thursday's. I will pencil you in, and 10 minutes before we start the session, 10 to 1, I will send emails to each and every one of you who are in the 6-on-1 show. I'll send you an email with your link inviting you in. And just like a 1-on-1 session, it'll now be a 1-on-6 session. We'll have you on the camera with us, and you can say hi to each other and to me. And we'll cover the market live together and talk trades and talk option strategies and option ideas and you name it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think a number of you are going to learn a lot in the next couple of days here, and then we're going to review it, see what you thought about it, see if we should do it again. We'll give it a shot. All right. Anyway, there's 18 openings, of which there are now only about 6 left. So if you're interested, send me an email. Send me a PayPal donation with an email, and we'll get you locked in as quick as we can. All right. Very much looking forward to this. Thank you all for joining me this morning and being here. Thank you for these thumbs ups already. Very much appreciate those coming in right off the bat here. The Bank of Japan has made their move. Christina made her move 15 months ago, she says. I love this channel. I appreciate the information I get. It's the only news I watch, says Christina. She's been a member for 15 months. Karen says, I've been a member for 4 months. I'm a gold bagel level. Amy H, I've been a member for 5 months. I'm a gold bagel member. Octavio, been a member for 18 months, chilling with Uncle Bruce level. Vilbus, I've been here a while now, 20 months, chilling with Uncle Bruce level. Shays, member for 11 months, gold bagel member. Olivia, member for 16 months, chilling with Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Olivia, so much. Neat emoji right there. You can't miss that. Thank you so much, you guys, for helping out and letting the world know how long you've been part of this channel, just to show the trolls that they can go to, you know where they can go. Wavy Gravy says, been a member for 19 months, Bruce. I'm a gold bagel level member of your channel. I've been more of a lurker the past few months with a new job. By the way, this channel helped promote me or help prompt me to find a full-time remote job, but I keep my gold membership for the perks and the morning updates. Right on, Wavy Gravy. Glad you're here, and way to go, pal. Making it work for you. Remote work, the kind of remote work you wanted. This is fantastic. I am thrilled. We have 120 thumbs ups now already in the house. We don't go live. We don't trade with the market 15 more minutes. We need 80 more thumbs ups to reach 200. If any of you out there can hit the thumbs up button for me, please do. And let's get to the 200 level as soon as possible. Andrew Fielder, been here for 12 months, Bruce. Gold bagel member. Thank you, Andrew, so much for throwing that up there for us, letting the world know you've been a member for quite some time as well. I do love these banners come across. They just dominate the chat. These giant green banners come in. DQ, I've been a member for 21 months, gold bagel level. All I have to say, Bruce, is neat. That's all I have to say about that. Fantastic. Wavy Gravy says, I ran out of words, but of course, the biggest perk of all is this awesome group of people We have a great community here. Thanks to you, Uncle B. Thank you guys for that. It's a fact. I know it. This is one of the real fun channels to be part of. Bama Babe, 21 months I have been here. I'm a Gold Bagel member, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Bama Babe, for your continued loyalty to this channel. Christmas is coming. New Year's is coming. 2023 is coming. Can you believe it? I've been a YouTuber since 2017 with my first channel. Oh man, this channel started in 2020. It's been a pleasure. Tangstra, I've been a member for 17 months. Gold Bagel member level. Thank you, Tangstra. Options Nomads, 21 months we have been members here. Gold Bagel level. Thank you guys. Bobby Atkinson, I've been a member for 9 months and counting. Gold Bagel level member. I love you guys. Thank you all for being members of this channel, whatever level you're comfortable with. We love having you here. The more, the merrier, I say. Keep them coming on in. This is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Bama, Christmas is my birthday, and I have had the best financial year of my life, says Bama Babe. I get this message a lot. Flint Creek Soap Company, thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Flint Creek, so much for all your support. Way to go, you guys. This is so much fun, and it's been a pleasure for me to be here for you guys every day. The markets are open. Whether I'm in Europe with Auntie Jen or whether we're here, we're getting ready for Auntie Jen to go in for her surgery, and we're really, looking for that to be successful, and so much to look forward to. JL Mark, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Gold Bagel member. Thank you, JL Mark. I appreciate it. Fantastic. Willie, 2 months and 23 days and counting, says Willie. Right on, pal. Thanks, pal. Larry Titus, I've been a member for 21 months. I'm a Gold Bagel member level. I'm in the 21-month club. Time flies when you're having fun. That's right, Larry. We've been having a whole bunch of fun here. BW is in here, 121 months as well. He's a Gold Bagel member as well. Always be learning, always. You are not the master of your domain until Uncle Bruce says so. Thanks, Uncle B. You are changing lives. Thank you, BW. Aurora, been a member for 18 months. Gold Bagel member level. Richard Carlin, I've been a member for 21 months. Gold Bagel level member. Beach Boy, I've been a member for 21 months. Wow. Gold Bagel level. Yesterday, Hanukkah with the kids and friends. No airing of grievances was done. Happy Festivus and good health to Auntie Jen and all of you. Well, you got to love that. No airing of grievances. That's a good sign there, Beach Boy. Right on, pal. Nice going. There are a lot of old timers here, says Bama Babe. That's for sure. This channel's core is super, super strong. There is a core following here with people who've been here right from the beginning of this channel. January 2021 is when I started going live. And people became members in March of 2021. That's when we started throwing memberships open. John Gill, been a member for 18 months. Gold Bagel level. Fantastic, John. As always, sir, thank you, all of you, so much for letting us know how long you've been around and letting the whole YouTube community know. Thank you for these thumbs ups as well, you guys. You're definitely letting YouTubers out there know they should be becoming part of this channel. Have 130 thumbs ups in the house now. We got 10 minutes to go before we open trading, and we are 70 away from 200 thumbs ups. Chase Rosita Parker, Gold Bagel member for 17 months. BW Beach Boy, where do you put the Festivus poll? Where does the Festivus poll go? Festivus for the rest of us. Oh, man. Thank you all for your undying support of this channel. It is much appreciated. It really is. J Boy, I've been here since Jan 21. Only just became a member. I should have done it long ago. Thank you, J Boy, for doing that. If anybody wants to put up those green bars with those membership announcements, I think you hit the $sign thing. I'm not sure how you do it exactly. There's some kind of a thing somewhere you can hit on the bottom. I don't remember what it is, and you can then announce how long you've been a member. Thank you all. Flint Creek, thank you for all your orders yesterday. Some went right out. The rest go tomorrow. My power is going off in 40 minutes. I won't be able to do much, so I'm going to town. Unbelievable, Flint Creek. It's amazing how power gets interfered with right at the height of your Christmas season. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's unbelievable. You gotta wonder. Richard Carlin, free milestone mark. That's correct. It is a free milestone mark. Senior Esteban, I've been a member for 7 months. Gold bagel level. Thank you, Senior Esteban. IR Aaron, member for 17 months. Gold bagel member level. Thank you, Beach Boy, BW. No pole dancing at Festivus, kiddo. Alberto, I'm on my last bar of Kashmir, Flint. Help! Mirko, been a member for 18 months. Gold bagel level. Thank you, Uncle B. Thank you, Mirko, for your continued support of this channel. You guys are incredible. We have 136 thumbs ups now. 7 minutes to go. 64 more needed to get to 200 thumbs ups. If you can hit that thumbs up button for us, please find it on your device. Nail it right away. Help us get up to the 200 mark. We appreciate it. BW says that Wells Fargo is going to pay $3.7 billion in fines, penalties for widespread consumer law violations in auto and mortgage loans. That's the Associated Press headline. Bama Bay Beach Boy, if there is no pole dancing, I'm not going. Flint Creek, how about during winter? No kidding. Power outages right during winter as well. Unbelievable. That is just wild. Just insanity. There you go. Everybody, thank you so much. Alberto, wait a minute. Pole dancing? When and where? I have a pocket full of singles here. Beach Boy, Alberta, I can offer some of mine for a nice buck. It's coming, says Flint Creek. Your soap is on the way. It's getting there. No problem. Giddy up. Everyone's going to smell pretty, like cashmere pretty. You're going to love it. 6 minutes until we open for trading, everybody. Thank you. There's an 8-step WT photo on how to make a Festivus poll. Wow, Bobby, wait. Well, thank you for that. Beach Boy, Bama Babe, you will be missed if you're not at the poll celebration. You'll be missed. We are down 20 on the Dow. We're down 10 on S&P. We're down 65 on NASDAQ. And we're up 55 cents on crude oil. Oh, boy. Man, oh, man. I find it incredible that a bank would consider a $3.7 billion settlement for misdeeds an equitable way to resolve a problem. It just goes to show you, and it has to make you wonder how many millions of people were being hosed by these guys for decades. And they just held off these they put off these talks, and they just delayed the settlements, and they just kept doing business as usual, while millions and millions of Americans got ripped off, had their credit lines destroyed, were mistreated by these guys. You don't see a single person going to jail, do you? You don't see anyone being charged with anything. Yet there's this crypto guy with the fuzzy hair. He's being blamed for everything bad there is to do with crypto. Okay, he's in a jail in the Bahamas now, being extradited to America. And these Wells Fargo guys, all they had to do was just cut a check for $3.7 billion of their investors' money. Let's remember, it's not out of their personal pockets. None of these senior executives are paying anything out of their pocketbook. None of them are losing stock options. None of them are losing their houses, their yachts, their private jets, the perks. They're just cutting a check to make it all go away. Where in other instances, they have poster boys as their way of showing this what could happen. It is ridiculous. Bama Babe, I asked Santa for a pull for Christmas. Alberto Beach Boy, that's an awesome offer. Used or new? The old surfer. Flint Creek placed an order for my wife yesterday and will be sporting cashmere on New Year's Eve. Mirko Beach Boy, but with a rowboat or swimmer back from Israel to his U.S., it might take till spring for Alberto. Flint Creek, answer red dot for every bar of cashmere. Alberto, true story. I took one of my brothers, won't mention his name, Raymond, to the strip club. He handed the dancer a $5 bill and asked for change. Thought it was a joke. He was serious. I don't have ones. Have you got any ones? Beach Boy. Marco, true, but at least his kids will have something to remember the old sport. Garrity, almost any law is a law only for pool people. If you have enough money, it ceases to be a problem. Beach Boy, Bama Babe, any pole dancing at the Bahamian jails, you think? BW, I used to have student loans with Wells Fargo. I paid them off first out of any of my other loans. Why? Because they sucked. Then obviously just continued downhill. Horrible. Nick S. short-term. Bagel Babe, the difference between SBF and Wells Fargo is that SBF took money from the super rich and Wells Fargo took money from the middle of America. Coyote, guy making it rain at the strip club with nickels, making it hail. Oh my, we're getting ready to open here in a couple of minutes. Moonman Moo, member for 21 months, chilling with Uncle Bruce. Thank you so much for that that bar. I appreciate it, my friend. Great that you're here too. Thank you guys so much for your loyalty to this channel. I really appreciate you guys being here today. Getting ready for Christmas time, getting ready to enjoy the season, holiday season. We are opening in 1 minute, and we'll see what this market has in store for us. I've got Tesla at 146.01 in last trade here on the pre-market, down 384. It would seem. It looks like it's down about 384. We'll see how the markets do. The Dow yesterday closed down 162.9, and we'll see what the Dow has in store for today. The last I saw, we were down about 20 points, and we're getting ready to open for trading and get this party started. Chuck those nickels, says Richard. Here we go. And we should have Larry hit the bells here any moment, and we will get this market rolling. Boy, here you go. Larry Titus, the bells have been rung. Thank you. Who's on the 6-on-1 today? Beach Boy wants to know. Who's going to be in the 6-on-1 today? We got Beach Boy. We've got Alberto. We have Nick here, Nick S. And we have a few other folks who I will let them be anonymous at this point. We're completely filled up, and we have a few openings for tomorrow and then a couple Thursday, and that's it. We're done. And if you'd like to be part of the 6-on-1, folks, you let me know, and we'll get you set up. No question, for tomorrow or Thursday. We're down at the moment about 20 on the Dow. Let's just see if this gets refreshed here. Down about 2 points on the Dow. Down 10 on S&P. Down 58 on NASDAQ. Okay. And we've got let's see, any other trades I can report to you at this point. Pretty early here. GameStop 19.99 on GameStop, up 7 cents. I don't have anything more definitive than that. Tesla 146.26. We'll wait and see for a few more minutes before these quotes update. We're down 15 points on the Dow now, 12 points on S&P, and 59 on NASDAQ. Okay, just starting to trade this morning's markets. And we'll see how these stocks perform today. All right. Thank you all for being here with us today. It's great to have you here. Um, Keep an eye on these markets going forward. It should get quieter as the week goes on, but you never know with these markets. Now that people have the trading ability in the palm of their hand, things have changed. Mirko, hey, Uncle Bruce, I'm thinking about selling 1,000 GameStop and changing into 17 $10 calls for January 25. So I can write 7 more calls than I do now, which means I can buy more calls with the premium. So I might be able to get to 20 calls from my 1,000 shares. And that's exactly what's been happening here, systematically happening with GameStop. It's been happening with Cisco. It's been happening with Pfizer. It's been happening with HPQ. It's been happening with Apple, IBM. People are figuring out if I can buy a 90-10 rule contract at the right price, I could theoretically move up into a much higher number of option writing numbers. And the premium from those increased option rights will allow me to buy additional deep in the money calls. And in the case of Mirko, instead of writing 10 covered calls on GameStop like he can now, he could move into as many as 20 at a time. Well, you think about it and go, well, what does that mean? I mean, what does that mean in dollars to me or to anyone? And in the case of Mirko's situation, if he is writing a March call option, say a 21 or a 22, he can bring in, say, $4 in premiums. If he writes 10 of them, he can bring in $4,000. And if he scores a $2 gain, he clears $2,000, just as an example. But if he can write 20 of these calls, he can bring in $8,000, clears $2,000. That nets him $4,000. Now, for many of you out there, depending on just where you're at with your accounts and your balances and everything else, for some of you, if you can net out $4,000 a month from your options contracts by increasing how many calls you can write, for some of you, a $4,000 a month add-on to your gross cash flow can make a huge difference in the setup that you're sitting on right now. Whether you are working full-time, your spouse is working full-time, whether you are an individual living alone and you're working, a full-time gig from home and a part-time gig from home and writing options, you may find that you can let go of the part-time gig, or you let go of the full-time gig and only keep the part-time gig along with the option writing. For some of you, it's a complete walk away. You'll walk away from the entire fiasco of the office, of the organization. No more commuting, no more inter-office sessions, no more impossible objectives to be set and met by management. You've let them all behind. You can't afford to work for these people anymore, because some of you, I know, are to the point where you're not even making $4,000 a month anymore. You're making 8, you're making 9, you're making 10, and you do not work anymore for someone else where you bring home way less than that. You're gone. You're out of there. You're gone. And I congratulate you. You've now taken control of your life, and now you decide who to work for and for how much, and whether you work for anybody ever again. And this is where some of you have let me know that you've said to me, Bruce, I quit my job, but I turned around and I became a consultant. I put the word out with a whole bunch of people I've known over the years that I'm available on a consulting basis in the field that I'm known at, but I work from home. And I am shocked at how many times I've been contacted by how many companies have contacted me to inquire about my services, because this world has completely changed out. And I'm excited for those of you who've been able to make this occur. You're now working as consultants at double or triple what you would have been paid as a full-time employee or more, and you're writing options Fantastic stuff. Beach Boy Larry, thank you for the sound of real Zermatt cowbells. We love that. Samuel, hey, Uncle Bruce. See you at the meeting this morning. My brother Alberto has treated me to this meeting. Yes, Sammy is there. That's right. Sammy's in. Sammy has self-identified. Financial mischief. Well, that was a depressing opening to watch in my portfolio. Markets open. My account is up by $5,000. 15 seconds later, down $650. Talk about in a blink of an eye. Mirko, if that works like I want it to, I will be writing 55 covered calls on GameStop. Now we're talking. Think about that, kids. Can you write 55 covered calls, bring in $4 a call, for example? That's $22,000 in the front door. If you buy those calls back for half the price, that's 11 grand left over for you. Can you guys live on 11,000 a month of household income? Call that a capital gain income, even after the tax-free amount that you get. If you had to pay 15% tax on $11,000, you'd have to pay, what is that, $1,650 in tax on 11,000 in income. Can you get by on like 9,500 a month? I would think a lot of you could find a way to somehow scrape through with that kind of revenue. It's exciting stuff. Financial mischief also picked up another 650 ATIP at 30 cents. I'm up to 26,000 shares. ATIP trading at 30 right now. Sell my house fast. Good morning. I'm number 147. Thank you, Christina Merkel. That's exactly what I did in August. I've never looked back. Kaiser Trip. Good morning, all. Bagel Master. QuickBooks question about PE ratio on Tesla. Tesla, are you considering this on your speculation on how low Tesla may go? For me, not really. I keep an eye on it, but I also know that Tesla is growing quickly and that they will have a higher P multiple than most mature manufacturers of automobiles. The Tesla ability to double their net earnings and double it again over the next 3 to 5 years is very good. And so to have a higher P multiple would not be outrageous. I worry about just how much time Elon Musk and effort he has to take away from one versus the other. That's one of my big concerns. Bagel Babe, $4,000, and I stopped working for anyone but myself. Mandu, number 5. I'm number 148. Bruce, good morning, everybody out there. Mirko, Christina, I'm writing on 35 calls and 1,000 shares right now. Mirko, but I think I don't need shares anymore. There you go. Constantine, way to go, Mirko. Samuel, just a cup of coffee and a few screens. No more caps on our pay. Option trading is the way. Constantine, 151 thumbs ups. Thank you for 151. Mirko, you have 35 deep in the money. GameStop contracts. Oh my gosh. Kaiser, Tesla forward PE ratio is close to 20. Well, I believe this week I'm modeling to sell puts for February or March. Kaiser sent you an email the other day. Just curious if you received it. Thanks. Great info today. I was just reading about Japan's news today. Did you see that news? Did indeed. And thank you for that email. I did get that the other day. I've been just so busy. And now I'm a little under the weather, so I haven't gone around to a lot of this stuff. Christina, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. If you do it now, you can take the loss on the shares to counter your gains. Christina, I'm only at 25 calls. Mirko, Christina, yes, 35 deep in the money and 1,000 shares, which I'm changing today into more calls. There you go. Building it up to 55 calls at a time. Yeah, look, you can write 35 calls and bring in 14 grand if you sell $4 contracts, or go to 55 calls and bring in 22 grand if you write contracts. Hey, bring in the 22, hang on to 12 of that if you have to, and enjoy. That's not a bad little bit of money. I love the way this is working out. Very exciting for many of you out there, and I know I see it happening in various ways. I see people going from 4 contracts to 5 contracts, from 5 to 6. They're going from 8 to 9. They're going from 10 to 11 or 12 contracts. I see this progression happening every few weeks where more and more and more calls are being acquired deep in the money on various stocks to write that many more call options. And People are just saying, sayonara, day job. You can't compete with this. You can't compete with the growth of my portfolio. You certainly can't give me a raise at the office, anything like I'm getting a raise here every couple of months. Thanks, but no thanks. And then, of course, there are the viewers who've been here now for a little while who started writing options a year and a half ago, who they've reached another level that most of you are looking to get to. They reached the level already where they left their day job. That was a year ago. Then they rejiggered their entire financial scenario. Some folks sold their houses, some folks flipped real estate, some just made adjustments. But then I've had a number of instances where I get these emails and photos inside these emails that'll say, we're in Paris right now. Just thought we'd say hi. We're in Paris right now. Following you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you. We would never have been here had we not discovered your channel and how to write options over a year and a bit ago. Others will say to me, we're on a cruise ship right now, or we're at an all-inclusive resort here. Others say, I'm in Australia right now. I've always wanted to come down to Australia. I'm trading options from here, of course. It's exciting, and it's so incredible how the evolution continues forward. Those of you who are in your 50s and 60s, you started your retirement earlier than you thought you would. Especially those of you in your 50s. Some of you have realized that within a year or within 6 months of taking my courses and having a one-on-one with me, or a second or a third one, you've quickly figured out you have enough assets already that you can quit your day job. You didn't know it. You had no idea that you could have quit your day job 5-8 years ago. You didn't know. You didn't know you could write options on what you had, or you could make a few subtle adjustments to your plan and then been writing options years ago. Well, we find out today, we work it today, and people are now quickly adjusting their portfolios to maximize cash flow coming in. And after 3 to 6 months of that, they get used to it. They see that it really is consistent and it is a reasonable way of working. It's a conservative strategy in the market. They do their independent research on option writing and find out time and time again that being an option writer is a conservative investment strategy. It is not a risky thing at all. There are some folks here who are like a little more action than others, but all in all, writing options that are out of the money is a conservative strategy. But even so, there are people out who are here who say to me, within 3 months of starting to write options, the money coming into the account is just stunning how much is coming in here. We're just rolling it. We're rolling it over. We don't need the money that's coming in because we're just building this for retirement. But we thought we had to build our retirement account for another 10 years with work. Every 2 weeks, another contribution would be made to this fund. The kind of money that's going into this account now because of these option premiums that are coming in are putting to shame how much we're putting in. It is humongous how much is going in here, several percentage points a month. We're completely re-altering our game plan here. We now know that we could cut back our workload. We need to cut back. We're beginning to suffer health-wise. We're tired all the time. We just don't have the energy anymore. The work is getting worse. The stress is getting worse. We need a break. We have friends. We have coworkers. We're telling them this stuff. They don't believe us. They think we're in a pyramid scheme somewhere, and they think we're just about to go crashing down into a sea of flames. And we just tell them, just watch this guy, listen to what he says, follow his viewers, read their comments, double check the trades. Anyone can see if someone is writing calls at the price they say they're writing calls at or buying them back at. I mean, anyone can verify this stuff. It's public info. The stock market's a stock market. You don't need Uncle Bruce's quote machine. There is no Uncle Bruce's quote machine to trade. You can't trade through Uncle Bruce. You got to trade through your own platform. You're on your own. So there is no master scheme thing here anywhere. It's a conservative strategy. But if you don't understand it, you're going to come up with thoughts about it. And that's human nature. It's quite acceptable. It is normal for people to react that way. If you do understand it, or you put the time in to figure out what's going on, now you are at least from a position of knowledge to make a call on whether or not this could work for you or not. And that's all I ask of you folks, for yourselves. Investigate it for yourselves. Now, are my classes the way to do it? Maybe. Maybe they aren't. There are some of you out there who might say, I don't need his classes to do this. I'll watch a couple of them and see if what he says is what I think is going on out there. But a number of you have said to me, I watched 3 or 4 of your classes, and I just kept watching them because I kept learning stuff that I thought I knew. Then I learned something additional that I didn't know. And it made sense. Like, well, yeah, of course, that I hadn't put 2 and 2 together. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together and come up with the answer. You made it so easy to understand. I get it. Well, of course, yeah, sure. Now I see what you're talking about. Folks have had revelations on this show, epiphanies on this from this telecast. Welcome to the party, pal. I say, nice to have you here. We are now down. I think we're down 89 on the Dow. Let me take a double check on this. 92 points. Yeah, we're definitely negative on the Dow here, 92. We're 18 minutes into the session here. We're down 17 on S&P, and we're down 90 on NASDAQ. The NASDAQ market is down 0.86 of a percentage point. The Dow is only off 0.3, barely a third. So the Dow should be off 300 right now to match what NASDAQ is already doing, just so you know. So this market is heading lower from the NASDAQ side of the coin for sure. Oil is up 36 cents to 75.55. That's what we got, all right? We got the GameStop shares right now at $19.81, 1976 right now. We're down 10 to 15 cents a share. I think the low today was 1962. Yep, the low is 1962 so far today. And we're not seeing like a bloodbath on GameStop, but just a continual slippage is what's happening here. Moderna is up $2 right now on a dead cat bounce, 192.17. ATIP is at 30.8 cents a share. It's up 0.7 of a penny on 15,000 shares. There is nothing for sale here on ATIP. Tesla is 145.98, down 3.89. SoFi is 4.50 a share, down up 7 cents today at 4.50. We've got Apple at 130.37, down $2. We're now threatening 130 on Apple. HPQ down 14 cents, 26.42. Amazon down a quarter, 84.67. Home Depot down $6, 311.25. Cisco down 40 at $47. Netflix down another $6 to 282 and slipping. Pfizer 51 cents lower at 50.85. IBM down 25 cents to 138.62. Microsoft down 158, 238.87 last trade. Vanik Semiconductors, the SMH, down 223 at 206.45. The Adobe shares are higher today, $3, 331.83. Goldman Sachs down 1 penny. Now I see it up a dime, so we're not doing much on Goldman. Google down 76 cents to 88.39. Boeing up 143 to 187.10. Meta Platforms down 173 to 112.78. 112.78 on Meta, down 170 right now. ME down a half a penny. Rocket Lab down 9.5. Matterport down 2.5. SmartRent down 2.5. Spire down a penny. Cyxtera unchanged. Very little change here on a lot of these issues as we are watching the Dow off just 57 points or so. S&P down 14, NASDAQ down 68.
It's nothing.
Jen, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm working hard here.
You're working.
I'm working hard here. Trying to stay on top of what's going on. We had Mirko today talking to us. Mirko has 35 deep in the money calls on GameStop, and then he has 1,000 shares of GameStop. He's thinking of selling the 1,000 shares of GameStop and buying 17 more deep in the money calls, writing on those calls to allow him to buy 3 more deep in the money calls. And now Mirko will be writing 55 calls at a time instead of 45 calls at a time. I like that plan.
Yes.
I do.
Is he selling at a loss?
Well, if he's selling the shares at any kind of a loss, that's a tax loss. But I'm not sure how it works for my viewers because everybody is in a different location.
Oh, yeah,
and so
absolutely.
Mirko's in Germany. We have people in other parts of Europe, Israel, Canada, the USA.
But, that's one of the joys of options. Leverage. Leverage, my friend.
Mega leverage.
Leverage. You're sounding stuffed up again.
Yes, I seem to be sort of. I'm hanging in there. And yeah, I'm hanging in. What can I say?
We'll make it through another day.
I hope so. Financial Mischief says, just picked up an HPQ January 25 $15 call for $12.35. Time to find another call to sell. There we go. A deep in the money call has been acquired on HPQ, and now it's time to write again. Okay. Miraculous Ugh, I had to go and do work stuff. So now I'm looking to write 4 GameStop calls. April $20 strike looks okay. What is the consensus? Question on that one. Constantine Unclevers, when you leverage yourself to buy deep in the money calls and write cover calls, buy more deep in the money calls, write again, you have to let the covered calls die worthless to catch up and finally make profits, right? Brought in 8 deep in the money calls in December. Well, here's the thing, okay? When you have deep in the money calls for, say, January 2025, like GameStop, we're talking about 2 years worth of contracts. So you can now just write short-term calls that might be 1 or 2 or 3 months long each for quite some time. Now, if you're going to write March contracts, 21s or 22s, and they bring you $4 in premium, and a month from now you can buy them for $2, let's say half the price, you've cleared $2 on your contract right. Now, if you have 10 today, you would have brought in $4,000. You will spend $2,000 a month from now to buy them back. You keep $2,000. Okay. Now, in theory, you could take that $2,000, do whatever you want with it. One idea is to buy another deep in the money call so that you can write yet another one. Because, of course, as soon as you buy back those calls for $2, you're going to write new $4 calls that might be now April calls. Again, at that point in time, a month from now, April calls are 2 to 3 months out. And you're always writing 2 to 3 months out for the bigger premium, you see. So you're turning around, buying back for half the price, rewriting yet again. Now, if you need $2,000 a month to live on, or it helps towards your overheads, it might be enough for you to quit a part-time job or to just have a part-time job only, plus this $2,000 a month to make ends meet. Fantastic. Whatever you need it for. Many of you are saying to yourselves, I want to quit my full-time job and I need to build my sales, my revenues in from these contracts. I need to bring in $4,000 a month clear, not $2,000 a month clear. So I'll keep my full-time job for now. I'll make this $2,000 this month. I will buy another deep in the money call and I will write 11 $4 contracts. Now I'm bringing in $4,400. I'm going to spend $2,200 to buy them back. A month later, I've made $2,200 instead of $2,000. I'm buying another deep in the money call, and I'm now bringing in $4,800, and I'm looking to spend $2,400 to buy them back. And so on goes the pattern. You're beginning to note that every month you're $200 closer to quitting your day job. $200 net to you closer. Now, I'm using theoretical discussions here where it's a perfect world. The stock doesn't move very much, options just slowly shrink out, and you buy them back. The real world is completely different. And if the shares want to have a dip tomorrow from the 2021 level to 1750 and give you the $3 gain on your call right now in 2 days, you're going to take it. And you're going to buy those calls back for $1. And you'll turn around now and write new calls for $4 after you buy your new deep in the money call. So yeah, maybe in 1 month you do 2 rollovers. Maybe in 1 month you made 2,000 and then 2,200 instead of just 2,000. And the next month you did one only, and the month after that you did three. The markets can be very volatile, and you're going to be very flexible with the markets. But at the end of the day, you know and I know that sooner or later, with every new deep in the money call that you're adding to your portfolio, you are another call option away from leaving the day job. You see the end. You know the number you need to get away from that job. So there you go. Well, Miss Jen.
What am I going to make you?
Let's see. How about we take that bagel. We put those sesame seeds on there. How about just like a cheese bagel? Yeah, the cheddar cheese slice.
I can do that.
Those are so delicious, and with the roasted sesame seeds.
I'm on.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. Go Rugman. Gotta love it. BW, come on, Spire, go under $1 and I'll load the boat. Spicy times for cheap former SPACs, loading weekly on all of them. Pyramid scams is Kareem. Lame duck. So on Poor Man Cover Calls, what's the break-even point in a stock like GameStop? I have no idea. Deep value of Max seems inevitable, but I've only seen a few charts like it. Flint Creek, 10 minutes to blackout. Larry Titus, good morning, Jen. David Scott, hey, Uncle Bruce, I have a question, only semi-related to the market. The owner of the company I work for only wants to give 5% cost of living raises. He said his sources tell him inflation is going down. Knowing what you know about the market and the economy, do you think this is the case, or is he trying to shortchange the workers? By going down here, it says shopping significantly into 2023. Look, David, you know the game. You've seen the numbers. You've heard me talk about how, for example, American Airlines pilots won't accept anything less than a 20% pay raise for the next 3 years. I think they're going to get 25%. I've heard Delta airline pilots getting 34% pay raises because they haven't had a contract for a couple of years, and now they're going to get future raises. These guys are signing up for raises of 6 to 7% a year every year for the next 3 years. So these guys are getting way higher raises than you're being proposed at right now. Obviously, your employer is desperately trying to keep costs down to avoid coughing up too much cash. This is not an uncommon story. But the reality is you're getting a pay cut because since the last time you got a pay raise, which what would that have been, 2 or 3%? You've lost 5% on that deal. Now you're losing another 3 or 4% on this deal. So in effect, you're taking a pay cut every year to work for this guy. And the reality is, maybe the reality is that your employer can replace you with someone who will take the deal, or your employer cannot replace you for what they're paying you. Might cost them a lot more money. And so you have to decide for yourself where you fit in this entire, hierarchy here. But at the end of the day, you can't, there's nobody here. I don't think that I have a single viewer on my show that works for an employer as an employee that is going to get a pay raise larger than what kind of pay raise you can get out of the option writing market. I don't think there's a single one of you guys. And if there is, there's one, maybe one. Like, The only way you're going to get ahead is to be your self-employed self. And maybe you have to look at your position with this employer and you have to say, well, you can give me a raise. I'll take it for now. But you know what? I'm going to keep my eyes open for some other opportunities elsewhere. My days here are numbered. I'm a silent quitter. I'm already pulling back and I'm already building a revenue stream of income from the outside world. That is the option world. And you might well be actively watching and listening to the rumor mills out there about other firms that you might join. You might also already be talking to other employers through your home server to find a job with somebody else for a lot higher starting wage than what you're getting now. This is the American way, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. However, it works. So, look, better days are ahead. It's an effort being made by the employer, but obviously it's not going to satisfy a lot of folks probably. And it could mean that you and half the other employees are actively looking for another gig and you're looking to leave. Lame duck, Flint Creek Soap Company, do you have both oils for women, bath oils for women taking baths? A good question there. David, by going down, he means dropping significantly in 2023. Yeah, well, he's dreaming. Mr. T, hi, Uncle B. I'm working with 10 GameStop contracts. And I like to know if there's a rule of thumb for how much powder I need to keep in my account if when I need to roll over. I would say this. If you've got 10 calls that you're writing calls on right now and you're thinking you might need to do a rollover, and let's say you sold a call for $4 and the rollover would be you would only roll over if your calls went up to $5.50 or $6. They were to go up. Then I would suggest that as long as you have enough money in your account to buy one or two of them back at a time at $5 or $6 a piece, you should be fine. Because if you need to roll over all 10 contracts, the way you would do it is you'd buy two back at, say, $6, write two new ones at $6 or more dollars, because that's the game of the roll up when you roll up on a contract. If you roll up into higher price calls, you would then bring in enough money to buy two more. You'd buy two more back. You'd write two more. You'd be able to do. That's one way. If you wrote $3 contracts and you're going to buy them back, if the shares go higher and they cost you $3 to buy back, exactly what you sold them for, you can buy two of them. But the ones that you're selling are $4 each. You buy two back for $3. That's $600 you pay out. You write two for $4 each. You bring in $800. Now you buy two again for $600. Write two more for $800. And you now have got enough money to buy three back at $3 to write three over here instead of two and two. You'll roll over all 10 within 2 minutes. You'll just do this. You'll do the sidestep a couple of times. There's always ways. Deep value VAPO, deep value stock up 35% yesterday, 15% today. Every dip is a blessing. Beach Boy, Uncle Bruce, this is for you. Is this Jen out there? Have you done your airing of grievances this Festivus season yet? I have to ask her. Jen and I are anxiously awaiting the coveted day to get in. We are doing all of the pre-surgical work now, getting it all set up and getting it all finished off. And Jen is getting very close to going in for her hip replacement surgery. So these last few days, this last week is the toughest one of all because you're so close to saying goodbye, hopefully, to a lifetime of pain. I mean, for Jen, it's been 30 plus years of discomfort, but it got bad enough about 4 or 5 years ago. It finally got bad enough to actually have this happen. Where in the past, a couple of leaves, you'd be okay. Those days were long gone. COVID screwed up everything as far as having had this operation years ago. So right now it is go time, and it's very uncomfortable. We are really limiting our movements a lot. And we're just trying to, we are counting the hours. I'm telling you guys, it is, unless you've been through it yourself, you have no idea just how debilitating this can be in everything you do. It is absolutely a killer. It's just, it kills your spirit, it kills your endurance, it stops you from thinking past today to tomorrow to next week to next month. You have a tough time thinking ahead. And everyone out there can mean the best, give you the best vibes and say, oh, you're going to do so much better. And talk is great, but until it happens to you, you're suffering in pain. And so right now, I'm slowly dying from it, because it just kills me to see my partner in such agony all the time. And I do everything I can to make it better, but there's only so much I can do, and it has to happen. And so we're just sitting here going, "Come on, clock, let's go." I mean, 2 months ago, we were in Calgary waiting for the day to get down here. We got down here. Now that we're down here, we're now counting on the clock to get her into the surgery room. And we're just counting it off, and we're counting it off, and we're counting it on. We cannot wait. We are ready. We are eagerly ready to make this happen. So we'll keep you posted, kids. We thank you all so much. For those of you who have made donations to her operation, we've already paid it. It's been prepaid. It's been done. It's a whack of dough that has gone out, and we're ready now for the other side. So thank you, Miss
I
Jen.
almost forgot your sesame seeds. I had to put them on top.
The sesame seeds are on top of
They're
the
on
cheese.
top.
Beach Boy
They're
says,
sticking. They're okay.
Beach Boy says, is this Jen out there? Hope you were done airing of grievances for this Festivus season.
That's right.
Festivus for the rest
For
of
the
us.
rest of us.
We can't use the poll this year. Maybe next year.
Oh, maybe next year.
You might
No
be able to use
poll.
the poll. I was just saying to everybody, we are counting the days to get you in. It's
And every day we have another milestone that's passed. Doing blood work, EKG, chest X-ray,
all done.
pee in a bottle. My fave.
My
Pee
fave.
in that little jar. That's
Peeing
my
in a
fave.
bottle. Yeah.
That's so good.
We're getting it all done. Yeah, and we're just anxiously waiting for the day to get in there and change
Yeah.
it. Yeah, change it over.
Just need to have a CT, do the classes,
Yeah, I have to go to class.
find a physiotherapist.
That's
the
fun.
hardest part.
Finding a physio.
Finding physio is
It's unbelievable.
insane. But yeah, we're working towards it. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, kids.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys helping out. We appreciate it. We really do.
Indeed.
Right on, Jim.
Go Rugman.
Go Rugman. That's it. Thank you all. Let's see. Ed Hawkins, we offered a 22% raise and an employee refused. He wanted 25%. Flint Creek, okay, power going by all. Hope that goes quickly. Any minute now. Click. AJ, I'm already self-employed and the options are giving me a big raise. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. David, I am working on being self-employed as an option writer by the end of 2023. This 5% offer just cemented that even further. Thank you, Uncle B. Fool of a took. Finally scrounged enough cash to buy another 100 shares of GameStop to move from one call to two calls, and had to borrow $377 on margin. Turned around and sold in April 1875 for $510. Paid off the margin. The value, VAPO approaching 300% up in the last month. Fool of a took. That covered my margin balance, and now I'm sitting on two calls sold, hoping to move up to a third call real soon. AJ Foolova took nice job. Constantine, Uncle Bruce, I sold GameStop April 21-25s at $470, bought back for $390, turned around and sold the same call for $410. Thank you, sir. May I have another Fool of a Took. That's got to be rough for Jen. Glad she's about to be so much better. Fool of a Took. Thanks, AJ. I'm new to all of this. Looking forward to days with a calls compound. John Anderson, good morning to Jen. Flint Creek, what a cheering section you have here. AJ, Fool of a Took. It's interesting being the new bagel members. I feel a bit behind compared to all the others, but we are catching up. And that is the secret to this channel. You're all welcome here, and we welcome you with open arms. We're going to try this sesame seed infused cheese bagel from Costco. Oh yeah. Jen, ATPI is ready to do your part. Lame Duck, Flint Creek, I put an order for my aunt in Phoenix. Thank you. All right. The Dow has turned positive, plus 42. So good. GameStop has turned positive to 2014 after being as low as $19.62. I'm not surprised to see the odd rebound. The question is it sustainable? That's the question here. We're up 65 on the Dow. We're up 4 on S&P. We're up 1 on NASDAQ. Okay. BW wants to know, when is ATIP going to get the call that they have to look at a reverse split or do something drastic to get themselves over $1 a share? Spire is closing in under $1 as well. ATIP did get the call a month ago. They have 6 months to fix it. They're given a 6-month warning. So if the shares break $1, then the meter starts all over again. So we'll see what happens. All right. Flint Creek says to Lame, thank you so much for these orders. Everybody, we're at 65-point gain on the Dow. We're up $6 on Moderna to $195.99. GameStop up 30 cents, 2022. ATIP is at 30 cents. Tesla 146.72 down 314. SoFi 466 up 23 today. SoFi having a great day. Go SoFi. Apple 131.76 up down 61 cents. Dow's up 90 points. A little dead cat bounce maybe going on, perhaps. Okay. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you for being here. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Fun time. So much going on here. Thank you, everybody, for popping in, spending time with us today. Mm, 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 mm. Lots happening out there. We're up 83 on the Dow right now. Okay. W. Walters, member for 18 months, chilling with Uncle Bruce and thumbs up 165. Thank you, W. Walters, for that. I appreciate it. And of course, Beach Boy with that donation of 60 shekels. Thanks, pal. Appreciate that. Everybody, you guys are great. Great. This is beautiful stuff. BW, AJ, and a fool of a took. Just keep watching and learning, slowly writing more calls. You'll know when you start to feel more relaxed and in control versus always nervous with market moves. Trust the process. There you go. It's one of the things that happens when you're around here a while. Marcus, Uncle Bruce, my 12, 23, and 1230, 27 and a halves and 28s on HPQ covered calls have little time value left. Considering I'm going to write January 20s, 27s, or February 27s or 28s. Any suggestions? There you go. Well, I would be definitely looking at moving forward. If these contracts are running out of steam right now, you definitely want to grab additional cash. And now the question is, do you want to write a January or a February call? If you write a 27, you'll get more than a 28. But February is another month out. So the stock is 26.25. So February 27s or February 28s might be the contract. Take a look at the premiums and see what they give you. You're going to get more than what you're getting now. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm going to guess that your existing contract is running out of steam here. Which is the point, isn't it? Isn't that the point? Way to go, Marcus. Mm-mm. Yeah, 27 and a half. Yeah, your contract, the 27 and a halves are 8 to 11 cents, and the 28s that died this Friday are 1 to 5 cents. So, I mean, I'd be buying these back immediately. Turn around and write maybe February's. Let's see what we can bring in here. February 27s will bring you 141 to 146. 28s, 97 to 101. I mean, right there. Significant increase in cash in your account right now. I'd be doing these immediately. Yeah. Yeah, February 27s or 28s. That's where I'd be going. David Scott, I'm still sitting on those GameStop 30s for May 2023. I wrote for 6.25. I put in stink bids every day to buy back in that $1 range. Should I readjust and buy back in order to rewrite sooner? Well, GameStop 30s for May. GameStop 30s are 232 to 274. Hopefully, you are that 232 stink buyer or something along those lines. Mm. Love that price you got, 6.25. Well done. Well, you can get it back into that 230 range. Nice move. I mean, that's a really nice move. Now you can, you buy them back in that level, 230 range. You can tell. You can now take a look at something maybe in March. Maybe you'll write March contracts instead. Uh, March 22s will run you about 330. They'll go about 335. You get $1 more for those, perhaps. That's March 22s. If you write March 21s, or just 50 cents out of the money, you might bring in 370 for those. And that's a couple of months sooner in. Definitely. The 22s I'd probably be leaning towards. Okay. AJ says, BW, I jumped in with both feet. Business brokerage, 2 IRAs, and a personal account, so I'm swimming in it now. Fool of a tip. BW, thanks. I'm definitely getting more comfortable. I'm actually looking forward to rollover opportunities in the future. I'm glad I was able to pick up 100 shares so cheap in the meantime. AJ, oh wow, you're writing on both IRAs too. I had a teacher's retirement account. Still not sure if I can write options on that or not. BW, Fool, you should be able to write call options in your retirement account. They typically will not allow you to do poor man cover calls over, and depending on your brokerage, you may have to take some classes that prove your worthiness to handle call writing. Credit Savage, good morning, Uncle Bruce and Degenerates. Okay, so I'm finally going to write my first poor man cover call. I bought a GameStop $10 January 2025 for $11.89. I got a stink ask to sell a Jan 2150, and I'm trying to get $2.15 for it. Let's go. AJ Fulova took moved out of mutual funds in my Roth IRA and my husband. So I took all that cash and converted it to stock and covered calls. Can't do poor man covered calls in the Roth at Schwab. Don't know about the RAs. Willie, Uncle Bruce, what's the best way to manage a 5-month out poor man call? Bought to cover contracts sold when it was at a loss. Okay, you got me confused. What's the best way to manage a poor man call sold when it's at a loss? Okay, you're going to have to give me a specific example. Will you want to write me a private email on this? You're going to need more than 200 characters to write me a private email. Let me know what you're trying to do there. Fool of a took, BW, I'll look into that. I have taken all but 2 of the classes, but I've purchased them all. Right on. There we go. Right on, you guys. This is what's happening here. The Dow is up 120. GameStop up 66 cents. Mm. 124.89 is the gain on the Dow, 13.9 on S&P, 39 on NASDAQ right now. A little rally. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Full of Chuck says to Amy J, way to go. This is awesome. AJ, you too. Let's see where we are in a year or two with these others. BW, I meant some brokerages make you have to take some trading lessons on their websites to prove you understand spreads, calls on level 1 and 3 trading. Miraculous. I'm back in. Asked 430 for April 21.25s and it got hit. Now let's dip again. There you go. 21.25s. We're at 20.44 on GameStop, up 52 cents. Right on. Right on. Taking option money off the table. Congratulations, all of you. How many thumbs ups now? We have 168. Thank you, everybody. 168 thumbs ups in the house. We need 32 more to get to 200. If any of you out there can hit the thumbs up for us, please do. Get us to this 200 level as soon as possible. We're down to 5 or so minutes left on this show. And if you're able to hit that thumbs up for us to get us to 200 thumbs ups, get us close. Thank you very much. I know on the rerun, a bunch of you hit that button for me. I so appreciate it. We really need the thumbs ups to attract additional viewers to the channel. And that would be beautiful stuff. Thank you all so much. We're up 108 on the Dow. We've got GameStop at 20.49 right now, up 57 cents. The high of the day, 20.62. We got a 197 last trade on Moderna. We're up $7 today. ATIP is at 30.5 cents, up a half a penny. Tesla 145.61, down 4.26. Thank you, everybody. Zeta State is here. Good morning. I am 170, Bruce, on your thumbs up meter. Thank you, Zeta State, for coming in. Appreciate this. Those of you who are hitting the thumbs up button, 173 now, 27 left to get. That's all we need now, 27 thumbs ups, and we've got 200 of them. 174 now. We need 26 thumbs ups, and we've got it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the one-on-one, says Zeta State. That was fun, wasn't it? We learned a lot, huh? Wing Commander got assigned on 3 cash-secured puts for Matterport 4 weeks early. I got $1.60 for each back in the day. I think the strike was 5. Oh, well, still brought my average down. Right on. Well, Matterport is sitting right now at 260 at the moment. So you've got additional stock. Right on. Good price to get it at. Right on. $5 strike with $1. That's $3.40. Giddy up. And, you can decide just to hold them and or to perhaps write on them. But it might be a bit early to do that. Mirko, it worked. I already changed the 1,000 GameStop shares into 18 calls. January 10th. So I've already got 18 of them. Beautiful job. Tiff, Wing Commander Saga. Yeah, but you'll get the time premium. That's actually good. Bobby, looking forward to 2023 and Poor Mind cover calls. Haven't been this excited to get older since I was a year away from drinking age. Spicy. Bruce, would it be worth it to go out past March to get a big premium to buy more Poor Man covered calls? Oh, I see what you're doing. Well, again, you're letting the option market fund it. This is the beauty about options. I was talking about this exact thing with Zeta State the other day, and I get this discussion happens from time to time with my viewers. You can decide what to use the option market for. If you want to just write calls for every Friday and bring in 20 or 30 cents in quick money, you do that. If you want to write calls that are 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and bring in, a dollar here, a buck 20 there, more power to you. You want to write calls that are 2 or 3 months further out, bring in $4 premiums and buy back at a $2 premium or a buck and a half. There's that. Then there are those of you who have this idea, I want to quit my day job, pal. That's what I want, Bruce. I got 10 I got 1,000 GameStop shares, like we were just hearing from Mirko today. Mirko sells his GameStop shares, buys 18 deep in the money calls. Now, Mirko can write 18 calls on those calls. He can write 18 contracts. Do you want to write contracts for $1 each, $2 each, $4 each, $6 each? Depending on how much you're trying to haul in, there's a contract out there for you to consider writing. Now, if you're going to write March contracts or April contracts or May contracts and bring in larger premiums, because the entire objective here is to go from 18 calls right now and add more calls to the arsenal. Do you write much higher priced calls, and instead of buying 3 or 4 more deep in the money calls, you buy 7 or 8 more? You get to 25 deep in the money calls. Now, you've locked yourself in a roundabout way. You've written calls to next May, let's suppose, okay? 5-6 months from now, but you now have a countdown meter going on. You now know that by next May, those 25 calls you've just written out to bring in all that cash, they're going to give you financial freedom from your job. Because between now and next May, you're going to be buying back these 25 calls at, we hope, a much lower price than you just sold them for. And you're going to turn around right now and write 25 new calls, which might be July's or August's. We don't know. Now, if those calls bring you $5 each when you write those, you're going to bring in $12,500 US. You might decide, yeah, I need $3,000 a month to live on. I'm going to take $3,000 out of that 12.5, pay my bills, and the remaining 9,500, I'm going to do what? Buy more deep in the money calls to write even more calls against it, and now get up to 30 calls at a time going. I'm going to get up to 30 calls at a time. And so by August, September, when those meander out, I buy them for a fraction of what they're worth, rewrite new ones for a fat premium again. I take 3,000 or 4,000 out of that account to cover my expenses, and I'm now writing 30, 35 covered calls. It gets to a point where you have more cash coming in than you need to live on, and you just roll it all into additional calls and quickly expand out to 50 and 60 and 70 calls at a time, which takes you to another level of this option writing business. And that is where, if you know that all you need to do is bring in about $6,000 a month to pay your bills, you need $6,000 a month to cover everything. Yourself, your wife, the kids, the mortgage, the cars. And you got 100 calls you can write. You have 100 calls that have to make you $6,000 a month. When you're in that position, and you will be, you're going to go, well, if I make $1 a call in a month on these 100 calls, I clear 10 grand. I need to clear $6,000 to cover the nut around here. You don't have to find that option right where you wrote it at one price and waited for it to go to zero and never bought it back to just make enough to live on. That's not the game at all. The game now is, well, I can write a call that's 4 months out, 3 months out, bring in $7 in premiums, or 6 or 5 or whatever it is in premiums, sit on that for $5 a contract, $500 times 100, 50 grand. I'm sitting on 50 grand. I buy them back for $4, I clear 10 grand. I buy them back for $3, I clear 20 grand. It's only numbers. It's the same trade as if you wrote 5 or 25 or 100 calls. It's the same exact trade. It's this contract at this price, and you want to buy it back at that price. That's all it is. The question is, how much of the money is yours? If you brought in $5,000 and you ended up with 2 net profit, way to go. You brought in 50 and ended up with 20, way to go. It's the same trade, same percentage gain. The leverage is the difference. And here is where you are witnessing live on this channel viewers that are upping their leverage into writing more calls right now to haul in more cash into their accounts. That's what's been going on here for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's working, as you can plainly tell by these folks telling you how they're making it work for them. So learn how to write stock options. Take my classes. Please, God, take the classes. Give yourself a chance to understand what's going on. For the rest of your life, you will use this knowledge. For the rest of your life, you will use this knowledge. And between yourself and your spouse, your better half, your partner, or just on your own, you will now employ these techniques to haul in this cash to change your economic life completely. And many of you were skeptical going in and were going, well, it would be nice. It would be nice to say goodbye to the day job. But I need proof that this can actually work. And I'm going to start with 1 or 2 contracts only just to see what it's like. It's okay with me. I mean, this is not a 100-meter dash here. This is a marathon. And this is a trading program you do for years and years and years and years and years, and you get used to this cash flow. And those who've been doing this now for a year and a half or longer are never going back. They're never going back to the days of, I heard a hot rumor on stock so-and-so on this YouTube channel. I'm going to buy 5,000 shares at 15 cents because they're going to go to $10 by the end of the week. You're never going to get caught in that game ever again. Too many of you out there got sucked into just ridiculous stock stories. Believe me, this is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on from the 20s, the early 1900s. It was going on when I was a broker. There were hot rumors going around all the time about stock X, Y, and Z, and it was all bunk. Most of it was bunk. And I'd have clients call me and say, I just heard a hot rumor in the office. We're at this oil and gas company, and there's this hot rumor on this company's stock. And I would have to tell them, you are the 3rd client to call me about this so-called hot rumor. I've already made calls about it, and there's nothing going on. It's all hot air. There's nothing happening. And I've done that. I had to do that time and time and time again to just put a nip in the bud on this, because my job back in the day when I was a stockbroker, when I was your stockbroker, was keep you away from making mistakes. That was my job, keeping you away from making stupid mistakes. Well, here we are today. You're writing options and you're building up poor man covered calls, deep in the money calls, and writing on those. You're growing your accounts, and I'm trying to keep you on this straight and narrow path to keep you doing this. Just keep doing this. Don't change. Don't change. Don't get waylaid. Don't get sideswiped. Stay on the road to success. I'm excited for you guys. I really am. So Spicy, look, yeah, you can definitely write higher priced calls to get more poor man deep in the money calls. Certainly can. Mirko, looking to write March 23 for $4 and then buy back the last 2 calls and sit on some additional cash. There's a good plan. BW, Uncle Bruce, with these markets so frazzled and tax loss selling, big banks and institutions have to be over leveraged. Do you think this is starting to shape up like 08, 09? No, I don't. I don't think so. I think we might have a little pop in the market in the new year, but I would really rather that many of you are making the moves you're making now to write these calls, get these poor man covered calls in your hands at these cheap prices and write against them, because even if the market wants to go higher, it doesn't matter to you guys. You'll get richer on your deep in the money calls. You'll do rollovers on any calls that are moving up on you if you had to. and you're going to get even richer. So I'm excited here. Blair, is there no one in the world that wants my $20 GameStop call at 5:30? I need dough after I closed yesterday, my April 20s for 380. And just in case, I wish you all a successful, relaxed trading day. Bobby, making my kids follow me on this option stuff, and making my kids follow me on this. Constantine, nice, Bobby. Passing the legacy on. We are done for this show. Thank you all for 178 thumbs up so far. If any of you can throw in a last-minute thumbs up to help out this channel to get me closer to 200, I would appreciate that. Join me if you are one of the 6 for the 6-on-1. We're doing our first 6-on-1, 1 o'clock Eastern time. So that's not too far from now. It's now just about I don't know, what time is it? It's 10:40 Eastern time right now. So 11:30, 2 hours and 15 minutes. So join me a little over 2 hours for the 6-on-1. You guys will get your alerts about 10 minutes before we start the show. And we're going to go live together. And then I'll be back here for the 3 o'clock final hour of trading with all of you. You're more than welcome to join us again today. We'll go over where we're at and what we've been doing. I'm excited about what's happening here. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks again. AJ says, what day and what time is that pop in the New Year, Uncle Bruce? Could you give us a little more specific information on that? We'll keep you posted. We're holding right now a gain on the Dow of 165 points. We got GameStop up 68 cents, Moderna up $7. We got ATIP at 30.8 cents a share. Tesla still down 450 at 145.34. We've got SoFi ahead 26 cents today, $4.69 on SoFi. So we're having a good day over there. The Apple shares have turned around and gone positive, plus 35 cents. We're not positive by a lot, as you can tell here. It's a tentative positive move. HPQ up 20 cents. Amazon up $1.39. Home Depot down still 149. Cisco down 16. Netflix down 16 cents. Pfizer down a couple of pennies. So we have a mixed bag here. We don't have a lot of the market believing in a big run here. It's just a technical move, I think. To be expected, though, it's been a lot of drop-offs the last few days. A lot of selling has come in. Thanks, everybody, says John Anderson. Thank you, John. Thank you again, all you thumbs up people. 185 now have come through. 185 thumbs ups, 15 more, and we've got 200. I appreciate it all so much for helping out to get us to 200 thumbs ups. If you're watching on the rerun, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button immediately and help run it up for us. We appreciate getting to 200 thumbs ups each and every show in the morning. All right. Thank you, guys. 186 are here. 14 left to get. All right. Oh, down to 11 to go. 189. Look at that. 11 left to get, and we're home with 200 thumbs ups. I'll see you this afternoon for most of you at 3 Eastern for the final hour of trading. And I'll see 6 of you at 1 o'clock for the first ever 6-on-1 show. Looking forward to it. All I can say is neat, like everybody else. Thank you all for your support of Stock Markets with Bruce, helping me and Auntie Jen out as we continue our quest to get you guys richer. Hopefully you're making money today. If so, hit that knee emoji and throw a thumbs up in there and let the world know how happy you are being part of this community right here. We're so thrilled that you're here, pleased that you're part of our show and part of our YouTube family. We appreciate you all very, very much. All right, guys, I'll catch you this afternoon at 3 and also here just in a couple hours for the 1-on-6. 192 thumbs ups. Oh, you'll love it. Okay, talk to you soon, everybody.